fellow compatriots. Well, the Gaza Revolution is with us. It has landed. This is a two-pronged agenda. One, we want to restore dignity of our people. Two, we want distributive justice in this country. Zimbabwe is undergoing all these challenges. We are failing actually to start on something meaningful in terms of our democratic development. Why? Because we had the false starts in 1980. At the heart of all our challenges is the lack of a democratic constitution. We have a constitution in this country which inflates the powers of the executive president, which erodes the power of the voter, and it gives more power to the elected representatives who decide not to represent those who voted for them once they are voted into power. We have a constitution in this country where we have one center of power. This is the greatest challenge which we face in terms of the constitution. One center of power is a recipe for disaster, and it is the chief ingredient in all dictatorships. When you have one center of power and you don't have an elected vice president or president, but an appointed one, it is the best of the appointing authority who happens to be the president, then it means the clout of those vice presidents who are appointed is greatly diminished. They are more or less senior ministers without portfolio. This is very important to understand. An appointed government official has no power because he does not have any mandate from the people, but from the appointing authority. This is the danger of one center of power. We are saying the Gaza Revolution is supposed to bring in, it's focused on bringing in a transitional arrangement which will rectify most of these anomalies that we find ourselves in. There is nothing like voter power or voter sovereignty in this country, because you cannot recall an elected representative as you see fit for failure to perform their functions. The voter only becomes necessary at the point of voting. And after that, the voter becomes irrelevant for the next coming 5 years. The elected representative has more allegiance to the party to which he belongs to than the voter who voted that person into office. So what are we saying? When your representatives have more faith in the party, but not in you, the voter. To make matters worse, in parliament, those representatives, they do not at all represent the wishes of the people who voted them into office, but rather they represent the interests of the elites, the bureaucrats who craft policies, party policies, and they smuggle them into national developmental policies. Now, when you have this kind of a scenario, then you know that this is not a participatory democracy. It's just a nominal liberal democracy, but it's not a participatory democracy because the sovereignty is not expressed at the grassroots level. This is one of the many problems that the Gaza Revolution seeks to rectify in this country as a matter of emergency. Not only that are the main issues that bedevil our constitution. Look, in a country like Zimbabwe, we say the dangers of ethnocentric politicians, identity politicians, is far-reaching. We are a small country with 16 million people, but we have 2 vice presidents. Why? Is there any justification for that? Zimbabweans, ask yourselves. And why do we have 2 vice presidents? If you were the 2 vice presidents because of circumstances, then, honestly, for 45 years, are you still not trusting each other? Zimbabwe should just be divided, split for the purposes of vice presidents. It should be divided into 2. The eastern regions, which cover Mashonaland, the western regions, which cover Matabeleland. If we have a president from Mashonaland, automatically the vice president must come from Matabeleland. And vice versa. But not 2 vice presidents, because you are over-representing an ethnic group. You are over-representing it. And we understand why this was the arrangement. After independence, and given the identity politics, the ethnicism in the political parties, in particular Zanu, when Mugabe became prime minister, naturally, and the logic would have assumed that Joshua Nkomo would become the natural second vice prime minister. But Mugabe, because he was very scared, of the presence, the proximity of Joshua Nkomo to him. So he wanted the late Vice President Simon Mzenda to act as a power buffer between him and the Joshua Nkomo. He effectively diluted the powers of the 2 vice presidents. But now, this is 45 years after attaining independence. This is costly to the taxpayer. Let's do away with 2 vice presidents. Let's do like what the Nigerians do. Because in Nigeria, religion is a sensitive matter. The North is generally an Islamic country, and the South is a Christian country. In Nigeria, when you have a Christian president, it's automatic that the vice president must come from the North, and he must be a Muslim. And if the president is a Muslim from the North, then the vice president automatically is a Christian from the South. Ndiko kurongeka. Those zvinoita kuti kungava inqabangqoza ebantwini. We are being governed by amasela isigilamkhuba. They don't understand what unites the people of this country. They can't take ideas on board. You see, in this country, these are the problems which we are facing is institutions of higher learning. They are now compromising their credibility and the legitimacy as institutions of higher learning. When they started to transact high degrees and qualifications to people of influence and the mighty in society. It's as good as vegetable vendors who transact their produce in the marketplace. This is the problem which we are having in our institutions of higher learning, and as a result of that, graduates from these institutions they will not be able to secure the kind of employment they are expecting after graduation, because their qualifications will be degraded. This is very important, because this is very important. And when you have doctorates dzekuveza mupinyi, you have doctorates dzekufuraya madora nemufushwa, hakuna kupererwa kunopfuura ikoko. This is most serious. Failure to think outside the box. This is the reason why even our learned, so-called learned professors of economics, they can't think out of the box and can't think of alternative ways of raising taxes, revenue for the government. They now go down as far as taxing a goat, tsuro, imvundla, zezinja, ufuna ukuthekisa umgudoyiwe. How can you be so cheap? This is because the tax base has been narrowed. You have destroyed the industry with your sterile policies. This revenue base has shrunk. You cannot even use your minerals to raise revenue for the government. This is a country where the destiny of the people has been made a menu for political power racketeers in our midst. People cannot inform the government, because if you criticize, then you are labeled a rebel. If you say something sensible, they will say you can't be original. It has come from someone who has been influenced by someone from outside. This is an insult to our collective intelligence as a people. This must stop. Now, you see, we have this problem of war veterans, which solving their problems is now being outsourced to the mafia business class in the form of Tungwara. And the celebrated clown of all time, Douglas Mahia. The truth of the matter is, people don't understand. When they hear someone like Mahia saying, I'm a war veteran, they don't understand what it means. Being a war veteran it simply means participating in a war. An armed fighter who participated in a war. But then, some war veterans ended their careers there. They ended their careers after attainment of independence in 1980. They are what are called the freedom fighters. Freedom fighters continue to insist on the eradication of poverty, inequality, and the unemployment in society. These are the people we call freedom fighters. So we have two classes of war veterans. We have war veterans who fought for the sake of fighting. They were trained and accessed the weapons, and their story ends there. In a nutshell, they are nations of violence.
No meeting.
But then, what happens? It ends there. Then we have war veterans who are freedom fighters, who continue to fight for the freedom of the people. In 1980, the struggle for freedom and democracy should have started there. But it didn't. The rich and the powerful started to hobnob with the corrupt. Now this is what we find. A woman calling himself a war veteran. He goes to a province with 1,500 US dollars as part of the 15 million, which was a national amount given by a mafia group, Tungwara. They go to Masungu. They target war veterans who belong to the Zanu PF War Veterans League. This is a league of bootlickers. This is a league not of freedom fighters, but a league of mercenary war veterans. And most of them, they don't even know why they went to war in the first place. They don't even know. So this is the problem that we have, and we have to make that distinction because it is very important. And out of that in Masvingo, they chose only 70 leaders. Maybe these are the key bootlickers. 70 in Masvingo province who were given the who shared this cake of 150,000 in Masvingo province. 70, and they were given $2,000 each. So we are talking of 140,000 US dollars given to 70 comrades of the War Veterans League in Masvingo, a province with more than 5,000 comrades. Honestly, guys, you can see this is unfair. 70 comrades, 2,000 each, that's 140,000. The other 10,000, where is it? Yakajiwane state. This is the thing. So let's not be fooled by these dummy, deceptive projects. Bo, a bow is supposed to serve the community, and it is the government's responsibility to provide water and sanitation to its people. That's the responsibility of government. So are we trying to clap hands for praise a sheep, a fish for swimming? So these are the things, the basics that we should be able to understand. Let's call a spade, and you are saying the Gaza Revolution is a cleansing process to come up with a transitional arrangement in which the people have the power. Not for people to think it is the time for them to get power, to appoint themselves. No, it is designed to give people the power to choose what they want. Thank you very much.